Do you love the idea of the D&D Ranger, but the mechanics leave you disappointed? Do you wish Rangers were more Ranger-y? Are you tired of browsing the same limited 5e class choices? It's become clear to me that the designers at Wizards of the Coast have forgotten what a real Ranger is supposed to be. So, introducing the Warden. She crouches unseen atop the Baron's headquarters, observing the guards lazily patrol the perimeter. On the ground level, her wolf companion prowls in the shadows, awaiting the signal to instigate a distraction. The Warden spots her target and knocks 2 arrows. She has chosen her quarry. This new class for 2014 and 2024 5e D&D is a master of both blade and bow. She is at her best when skulking along urban rooftops or skittering silently through dense forests. She's an expert at tracking, understanding and slaying her foes, and harnessing the mystical power of the world around her.
Kind of a big deal.
Check the link in the pinned comment below to learn more. This class draws its inspiration from Geralt from The Witcher, Legolas, Senshi from Delicious in Dungeon, Hawkeye, Drizzt, Katniss Everdeen, Rambo, and others like them. They're all wardens, even if they didn't know it. This half-caster class stresses adaptability, stealth, natural attunement, and finesse in combat. To let you in behind the scenes, my inspiration for this class came from when I first read about the 2024 Ranger from Wizards of the Coast. They had nerfed the favored enemy feature and completely removed Natural Explorer. This was a bad move in my opinion because Natural Explorer is one of the main things that made a Ranger a Ranger. And this feature needed work, but they shouldn't have killed it. But I did more than just add these features back in, I decided to fix them. I'm getting a little ahead of myself though. Let's take a trip through building a Warden and all of the Tier 1 abilities and options. First of all, this class is obviously very similar to the Ranger. Some abilities are iterations and improvements to the Ranger design, but there are some wholly new features to the Warden class too. At level 1, hit points and proficiencies are aligned with the Ranger. However, you have a choice when it comes to skills and tools. You can either go the skill monkey route with proficiency in 4 skills and 1 tool, or choose 2 tools and 3 skills. And you might notice a couple of tools listed there that are new to 5e, like the Tincture Kit and Dressing Kit. This class also comes with multiple subsystems and mini-games to implement these things, and these subsystems are easy to understand and run. This class is not hard to learn. In terms of complexity, I'd put it around the low to middle of all 5e classes. At level 1, if using the 24 rules, this class gains the same weapon mastery options as the 2024 Ranger, but when we get to the level 1 terrain expert feature, this is where the Warden really begins to shine. Because to be honest, I loved the idea of Natural Explorer from 2014 5e. I loved the idea of a Ranger specializing in a certain kind of terrain. But the problem is the limited choice. Once you picked, you were stuck with it, and then if you traveled into a different terrain during a campaign, you're hosed and suddenly very underpowered. So I wanted to lean here into one of the Warden's core strengths, adaptability, because the terrain expert feature allows you to swap terrain choice at a long rest. And one of the Warden's subclasses can even swap it out during a short rest. The idea here is that if a Warden comes from the swamp, they know the swamp. They know its creatures, they know how to navigate it, and how to stay focused. Well, it seems to me that if a Warden from the swamp spent enough time in the Underdark, they would get to know this new terrain just as well. Adaptability. In their favorite terrain, Wardens navigate easily, get a bonus to passive perception, and cannot be surprised. This is what the Ranger should have been. Also, urban is now a terrain choice, because who said there can't be city-based monster hunters? I never understood why you couldn't have an urban Ranger. Anyway, at level 1, the Warden gets spellcasting in a very similar progression to the Ranger. I'm not going to cover the spells here in this video, but I'll say that the Warden's spell choices are more nature-attuned than the 5e Ranger. I wanted every spell to have some sort of connection to the natural world. At level 2, the Warden chooses a fighting style or a fighting style feat. Also, they receive their next core feature, the Quarry cantrip. This new 5e spell is more than just a replacement for Hunter's Mark. It embraces the idea of wardens as monster trackers and hunters. Marking a target as your quarry not only increases damage dealt, but it also allows you to learn new things about these creatures. At higher levels, the damage scales and ties into other core features of the class. And speaking of subclasses, at level 3 you get to choose between the Master of Air and Master of Land for Warden. I'm not going to go into detail about these subclasses here, but let me give you the high notes. The Master of Land Warden leans into the monster hunter aspect like Geralt of Rivia, Senshi from Delicious and Dungeon, Drizzt, and Rambo. The Master of Land Warden has a feature called Studied Enemy that gives them advantages against certain types of creatures in combat. The Master of Air Warden is inspired by Legolas, Katniss Everdeen, and Marvel's Hawkeye. This is your classic bowman, but it includes unique crafting abilities as well as a hyper focus on stealth and adaptability. Also at level 3, Wardens receive a new feature called Quick Knock. This is similar to the fighter's action surge and allows the Warden to make an extra ranged attack in a turn once per short rest. It's also similar to the 2014 Gloomstalker's ability to take an extra attack, but it's more flexible because you don't have to use it in the first round. At level 4, you can choose either an ASI or feat, and the Warden class includes new feats specific to the Warden class. I'll give you an example of one. Nimble Escape is a new feat that makes opportunity attacks against the Warden have disadvantage as long as the Warden can see the attacker. And at level 5, the Warden not only receives extra attack, but also another of their core features, Beastmaster. I never understood why having an animal companion was limited to the Beastmaster Ranger subclass in 5e. Wardens are of the natural world, and so any of them have the capability to recruit a beast companion. But it's not automatic. There is a simple and easy to run minigame where the Warden can first become friendly, then befriended, and then bond with a beast. I'm not going to show you the table with minigame explanation, you can check that out for yourself. And I know I said I was only going to cover levels 1 through 5, but I do want to tell you about one higher level ability. At level 10, Wardens receive the Field Healer feature. It doubles the Warden's speed for a turn if they use that turn to administer healing to another creature. Because the Warden is many things, and that's the point. A healer, a melee expert, a ranged assassin, stealthy, adaptable, attuned to the natural world, and an expert on monsters. Along with the class features, new feats, and new tools, the class includes other simple and easy to run mini-games for various Warden features like a Tincture Science subsystem that allows Wardens to craft unusual items with time and money, or the custom Arrow Crafting subsystem for Master of Air Wardens, or the Monster Cooking section for Wardens proficient in a dressing kit. If you've always wanted to live out your Delicious and Dungeon monster eating fantasies, this is the class to do it with. And this class has even more. There are new mundane and magical items to enhance the Warden's abilities, as well as the promise of future features to come. I'm currently working on an addendum to the 5e Bastion system that would create specific facilities for Wardens, and I'm planning to release that as an update to the class in the future. There's a link in the Warden documents to where those updates are going to be coming from. And that is the Warden for 5e Dungeons & Dragons. My intent was to make the class that the Ranger should have been all along, and I hope you love it. I'm also willing to listen to feedback about the class and make fine-tune adjustments, and any future adjustments will always be released as free updates. This is our class. It was made by me, but it belongs to all of us, and I can't wait to hear about how you made it your own at your table. I'm GM Jim, and I hope you love the Warden as much as I do. Check the link below in the pinned comment.